So with the secrets that we found in chapter 8 with the notes that were left behind, there's one thing that we noticed, that the notes were written by someone we have not been introduced to yet. Now I've been promising you a video on who I think this particular person is, and they have the initials T.S.P, so that's what we're going to be getting into today, along with some of your theories and feedback on who you think T.S.P and what exactly that stands for. Also, I want to give a big shout out to all the new subscribers on the channel. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal, and I hope you are enjoying the content on the channel. Again, if you do, feel free to leave a like and share it, and also feel free to subscribe for more. And if you're new to the channel, it really shows your support, and I appreciate every single one of you. With that being said, I'm going to be sharing my predictions and theory on who I think this particular character is, T.S.P. I will also add a poll in this video where you can also vote on who you think this character might be as well. But with that being said, sit back, relax, grab your favorite snack, and let's get straight into who we think T.S.P is. So when we started playing chapter 8, we did not know what secrets we were going to be finding in this chapter, and it was some really good secrets as well. Again, we did a full secrets video. If you did miss that, I suggest checking it out because this will also contain some spoilers. But we did find some notes around everywhere, and we've been finding notes throughout all the chapters. But in this particular one, we've always questioned though who these notes were written by. I think when we first started kind of thinking about the notes and saying who maybe written these notes, I think we narrowed it down to figure out that Mr. P is the one who wrote these notes, and Mr. P is behind everything, hence Mr. P is evil. But there's a little bit of, doubt in that now that Mr. P is actually innocent with the things that were revealed in chapter 8, such as these new notes, such as a picture at the very end of chapter 8 revealing maybe the reason why Mr. P is doing what Mr. P is doing. Maybe, this is, it's a lot bigger than what we think it may possibly be, or maybe it's not. But yeah, throughout this Peppa Pig horror story, it's getting very interesting, I must admit, and I love diving into what I think things could be and what it might actually be. So let's start talking about T.S.P, and we'll go over all the notes that we found in chapter 8, and apparently I do believe they were all written by T.S.P, but we'll take a double look and talk about all the notes. So here we have it, not necessarily all of them, but definitely the ones that were written and initialed and signed by T.S.P. So correction, T.S.P did not write all the notes because there was a note written by Foxy, I believe, unless someone planted that note on Foxy. But let's go ahead and get this started with the very first note that we see at the very beginning. So as soon as you enter chapter 8, you get off the metro and then you go into chapter 8, which, again, the outside of the place looks like Potato City. You can also Google the Potato City and you'll kind of understand exactly what I'm talking about. I elaborated a little bit more on that in the previous video. But the first note that we see, it's a bit upside down, so I'll be sure to flip it around so you can see it. And it says, "To those looking for safety, this is the worst place to look." And it's signed by T.S.P. Now, you can take this note two ways. For those looking for safety, it can be a warning note, or it can also be, I just do find it funny that Zizzy and Pony, they do talk about at the end that they have a safe place. So I'm assuming that, of course, Zizzy and Pony came here to look for a safe place and realize it wasn't safe after all. And then you kind of show up and you're kind of maybe following their footsteps, possibly, but we'll just have to see exactly how that goes. So we can take this note as a warning note, or I don't think we can really take this note as, an evil note saying, okay, if you're looking for a safe place, this is the worst place and I'm going to find you and I'm going to make you drink potions and kill you. Mr. P. Just kidding. But I think this is more of a warning note. So I'll make my full judgment on if I think T.S.P is good or evil. And trust me, I will be getting into who I think it is as well. And again, I would love your feedback on it. So we see that note signed by T.S.P. And then we see another note inside a Foxy cage saying, "Why did my friends leave me in here?" And it's not signed by anyone, which is why we suspect that this was written by Foxy themselves. Because again, I'm assuming Foxy maybe wrote the note and then while infected and then got infected and then of course finished it. So again, I do think that represents that Foxy's trapped in the cage and Foxy is the one that wrote the note. But again, that's just my theory on it. Now, what we've all been waiting for is who I think T.S.P and what do I think T.S.P stands for. So here we go. I believe that T.S.P. could possibly stand for a person, and it's going to be the super potato. Now I'll break down who the super potato is and where did the super potato actually come from? How do we know anything about that? I'm gonna pop up some pictures on the screen that you can actually see as well, maybe possibly explaining this. So there was also an episode in Peppa Pig where Mr. P was actually showing and trying to encourage everyone to eat their vegetables. And so a TV show came on and it showed the super potato encouraging the kids to eat encouraging, let's say, the animal in the family to eat more vegetables, which I thought was really cool. And then there was a scene where, Mr. P steps out and then, he invited a special guest and it turned out to be the same person, which was the super potato. But then in the end, Mr. P got trapped in the car and then it turned out that the super potato wasn't Mr. P. So it was actually two different people. And I thought that was really interesting because it was kind of like a scene where you think that Mr. P is someone else, but then in the end, it turned out that it wasn't actually Mr. P, it was actually the super potato. So I'm thinking those are the initials. And if you have to think of someone who can maybe save the day in this, or maybe that's someone behind the scenes, I think the super potato would be a really cool hero to possibly have, but we still have more notes, so we'll get more into it. And then I'm also going to be going over what you guys think T.S.P. stands for. Again, the super potato is just my theory. I share it with some friends as well who also suggested me. We kind of talk about some theories and some ideas on what it could possibly be, and we kind of narrowed it down to the super potato. But let's talk about the next few notes, and then we're going to get into what you all think this T.S.P. stands for. And again, I'm not ruling out anything. The super potato is not confirmed at all. It can mean something else. Now let's talk about this note that was written in the purple stand, and it says Doggy and Foxy got what was coming. And then that was also written by T.S.P., which I found that was a little bit, that was kind of intense, I think, in a way, because then it almost seems like, T.S.P., you have this good note of a T.S.P. maybe warning you about the safe place, and then this kind of a different version of T.S.P. that maybe seems like T.S.P.'s guilty and T.S.P.'s the one who did it, like Doggy and Foxy got what was coming to them. So it's something that we also have to think about as well. Like, I don't trust the T.S.P. I don't trust them at all. So it's just a matter of, kind of waiting and see what other notes we find and how well we can evaluate it. So yeah, very, very interesting. And then we have another note at the end that says, do not open monster inside. And that was actually before we go into the Foxy. So actually warned. So that's how we can almost tell that the note in Foxy's cage was written by Foxy, because again, this note outside was written by T.S.P. and you can also see it's kind of almost looks like it's on a different sheet of paper in a way, and it looks a bit different to me. And you can also see, like, why is all the other notes initialed and signed by T.S.P. and not the note in the actual cage. So there it is. Now let's go ahead and talk about T.S.P. a little bit more, if it is the super potato. It's funny because I think one of the super potato's quote, everyone kind of has their quote, and the famous quote from the super potato is like, when troubles comes, always remember to eat your fruit and vegetables. Now, will we actually get any fruit and vegetables implemented in Piggy? Possibly, who knows? Again, I look forward to it. We are getting a new skin as well, which I believe will be Zizzy coming in chapter 9. But yeah, let's talk about now who we think T.S.P. is. Again, I shared my theory with you. I think it's the super potato, and we'll talk about some other ones. So some of you guys suggested I went through the comments and actually looked at the comments on what T.S.P. may actually stand for and what I've also been hearing a lot. And yeah, here we go. So some people think that T.S.P. stands for test subject person, which also isn't bad either. Test subject person. Now, again, I won't go into detail on what I think about each answer because anything can be right at this point. So test subject person was one. Also, to save people, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's a little on the side, but to save people was pretty good. You guys come up with some really good names for these. Also, we got the sick potato as well, and the sick potato actually is again something that someone suggested. We also have the super potato, which some of you guys agreed on that. We have the secret potato, the secret partner, the super piggy. We have the sister potato. So what if the sister potato, let's just think for a second, what if at the very end the picture is Mr. P's sister. And that's like, and Mr. P is actually trying to save his sister. It's not his wife, it's not his daughter. And these notes were written by the sister Potato. So again, these are just theories and thoughts. So again, nothing's really ruled out. We also have the safe place, which again, I think chapter 9 is going to be based around the safe place. I don't think this would stand for the safe place, but again, it is kind of cool that it actually matched up with that, like T.S.P, the safe place. And then we also have, I think someone said the secret potato, or the secret, or the sick piggy, I believe. So that's something there, the sick piggy. So who knows exactly? Maybe it's George. I mean, again, who knows about this? Again, I think I'm personally going to stick with the super potato, and I'm going to narrow this down, make a poll in the video where you can vote on who you think T.S.P and what those initials actually stand for. It can possibly change. Again, this is all up in the air, just my thoughts, theories, and predictions on it. But I wanted to share that with you, as I've been wanting to share that with you throughout all the theory videos for chapter 9 thus far. But we're going to find out as chapter 9 is set to release the weekend, hopefully. I also want to take this time to share some of your theories in the video. Again, I appreciate all your support. So we're going to be taking some comments from the past video and talking about them here. So here we have a theory by Albert Isn't Fat. And the theory is that what if Mr. P's daughter / wife was sick, and you know how in the Metro the note said she's really sick, I need to find a way to help her, and that he was trying to help his daughter or wife and not Bunny, because initially when we saw that note we thought it was Bunny. So really cool theory there, Albert, and I think you are actually right. We also have another one by BK Gaming Library, and they think the map is going to be a zoo. And they said when you defeat chapter 5, you can see Doggy when you're in the hospital. Maybe Doggy can be in return, maybe Miss Potato is on the safe side, or T.S.P is like a squad. There could be a new character, the elephant and the giraffe. I know a lot of people are wanting the elephant or the giraffe to come, so very good theory there, BK. Love it. This next one's by It's May Z, and they say, I have a theory about chapter 9. So they went on some kind of safe place, maybe like a bunker. Then the safe place got broken in by Mr. P or Piggy. Then they have to escape, but Pony got captured by someone. Only you and Zizzy left. Then you get stuck or trapped in this safe place, and you need to escape while Piggy is there, and Zizzy could help you by interacting with something like Bunny or Doggy. When you escape, you find out that Pony is gone and no longer been seen. That leads us to chapter 10, where I think it's going to be a lab of some sort. That is my first theory. And they also provided two theories. That this is a really short theory, but I think the picture we saw about Mrs. P in the ending scene is that Mr. P's wife. Because I saw in one Peppa Pig episode, Mr. Potato and Mrs. P are dancing together. Then my theory is that Mrs. P is sick and she needs a cure. That's why Mr. P is doing all these tests to find a cure for her. That is an extremely good theory, and you guys are so close. I think we are all so close to it. And we have more theories about how evil Mr. P is. But with that being said, I think that's going to wrap it up for the video. I thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. But remember to leave a like and share it. Also feel free to subscribe for more, and if you're new to the channel, especially if you enjoy these predictions and theories. And also there's going to be some new Piggy challenges coming out as well that you do not want to miss. But I thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!